This is the moment we've all been waiting for. The most exciting announcement of our whole year. It's time to reveal the top 10 shortlists for the World's Best School Prizes 2023.
New Myrnam School has made the top 10 shortlist for World's Best School in the environmental category. And Danielle Erickson, the school's principal, joins me to talk a little bit more about this recognition. First of all, how exciting is it to hear the news that New Myrnam School is in that top 10?
Myself and my two assistant principals, Robert Timofeychuk and Alyssa Kalinchuk, we found out weeks before we were able to announce to the kids. But there was a hush hush put on it. Nothing could come out on social media or anything, because the World's Best School Prizes wanted to make the announcement so that everyone at once kind of found out across the globe, because that's the piece here. There are schools in our category that are from Spain and the UK and the US and Brazil and I mean schools that are doing amazing work all over the world. And so for us to be recognized in our small K to 12 school for the work that we've been doing and to be put on the same level as some of these other schools was just absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and you said it right there. It's a list of schools from all across the world. I know we've at Primetime Local News has gone out and covered some of the exciting and cool learning opportunities going on at the school. But can you talk a little bit about what's happening there? So this is the environmental category. So what kind of stuff has been going on that the judges and the people involved with this saw that led them to put you guys in that top 10 shortlist?
Absolutely. So for the last 6 years, our school has sort of shifted focus on some of the things that we do, especially some of the option classes like shop, and have made some adjustments to try to do a couple of things to try to engage students in their learning and in their option classes, and engage them in their learning, but then also tie everything that we're doing in these shop classes and option classes into their science, math, English, and social studies curriculum. Because that's a question we hear a lot from students is, why do I have to learn this? When am I ever going to use this? And there's so many of those kind of gems in each of those core subject areas, that if we can pull it into something like shop that's a little more engaging, the students just would buy into the projects. And so about 6 years ago, we started with our first A+ for Energy grant that we applied for through a group called Inside Education. And I have to give them props, because I don't think we would be where we are today without some of the funding from the grants that they provided. And their grant had to focus on schools doing projects that focused on energy conservation or generating green energy, and just teaching kids about where our energy comes from. And so we started with that project with a greenhouse that we wanted to be able to extend the life of the greenhouse. So it could be opened earlier in the spring and later in the fall without these huge temperature fluctuations. And we wanted to do it without using any electricity tied to the grid. And so the students did lots of passive solar heating with big black rain barrels that we then filled with water, and talked to the kids about how water has a high specific heat capacity. And so it would absorb the sunlight during the day and then release it at night. And that's just one very small piece of what that project was like, and some of the learning that ties in from science curriculum right up through till grade 12. And so we started with that project, and then actually for the last 6 years have received consecutive A+ for Energy grants. We received our seventh for the next school year as well. And all of the projects have kind of that energy focus. So we also built refurbished old golf carts into net zero vehicles, and sold two of the golf carts that were repurposed, and they were reupholstered, and the students welded and rebuilt the frame and the battery box and attached solar panels to the roof. And we sold two of those golf carts to the County of St. Paul. I believe they're using them in their municipal campgrounds, which is pretty cool to see them driving around when you go there and go camping. And so it's just another place where the kids get a chance to see their learning and something that they've done impacting the community. And you get more of that engagement and more of that buy-in to what we're doing at the school, instead of having to answer that question all the time of why are we doing this? So because we have so many different projects going on, and because we've made it an entire school cross-curricular, cross-grade connections, I think that's a big reason. I think that's a big reason why we were able to be shortlisted. We had an interview earlier this spring with the World's Best School Prizes judge, or interviewer, I guess. And at the end of the interview, he looked through the camera at us and he said, "I've never seen this before." And that was kind of a neat feeling to have as this school, that we think that we're doing some pretty amazing things, but for someone who's talked to schools from all over the world to say, "I've never seen this before," was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and they're seeing schools all over the world, so to have that kind of recognition there is incredible. I know I saw that the prize, or they'll announce the winner in September here, and even if you don't win, it's still great to get that recognition. But talk a little bit about what's next. Is there any other projects in the works at New Myrnam School? It seems like you're always doing something, and I also wanted to say too, just that hands-on aspect seems so valuable to the students as well.
Yeah. So as far as projects we have on the go for next year, our A Plus for Energy project next year slows down some of the physical building pieces a little bit. We've got quite a number of students who are really interested in video editing and interviewing, very similar to what we're doing here. And so our project for next year actually focuses on the kids developing some kind of a documentary series with a series of videos about the things that we've done, but not just to brag about the things that we've done, but to teach other people on social media, or their parents, or a resource we can maybe share with other schools. We have a couple other irons in the fire. I might not mention just yet, because we're still very much in the beginning planning stages, but there are always a lot of things going on here at Myrnam School.
Well, that's very exciting. And that just means we'll have another opportunity to check in with you guys when we find out what else is going on. Thank you so much for your time today, Danielle, and congratulations on this great recognition.